So we're going to start with week number 1, hosting the New England Patriots. I don't like this situation. For a first-time head coach, right? This is the first time you're going to be a head coach. I don't like your first game being against Bill Belichick. I don't care if your quarterback is Aaron Rodgers or if it's Tom Brady or Joe Montana. I don't care if you're going against Bill Belichick for your first NFL coaching game. That's an L. So I expect the Miami Dolphins to start out the season 0-1, losing to Bill Belichick, Mac Jones, and the New England Patriots. Week number 2, they travel to Baltimore to take on Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, and the whole Baltimore Ravens. And tell you the truth, man, I think the Baltimore Ravens are better team than Miami Dolphins. And historically, Lamar Jackson owns the Miami Dolphins. So I don't anticipate anything else. I see the Dolphins with newly head coach Mike McDaniel coming out the gate a little bit slow, starting 0-2 with 2 tough battles, man. This is not the way you want to open up as a newly head coach in the NFL, going against a Bill Belichick and a John Harbaugh. I mean, 2 Super Bowl champion coach, man. Absolutely not. 0-2 start for the Miami Dolphins. Week number 3, they host the Buffalo Bills. I'm talking about this scheduling God didn't do the Dolphins no sorry. I mean, they didn't give him no sorry. They didn't give Mike McDaniels no easy game to start out his coaching career. They're hosting Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills, who arguably might have the best roster in all of football. So yes, the first 3 weeks going against a freaking Bill Belichick, going against a John Harbaugh, and now going against a Sean McDermott. No, man, Mike McDaniels, I don't wish that on no coaches, but that's how you're going to open your coaching career. And let's just say you're going to start out 0-3 as the Miami Dolphins head coach. Week number 4, they travel to the Cincinnati Bengals to play the Super Bowl, the AFC Super Bowl representative from last year, man. The Super Bowl runner-up. Actually, I like this matchup for the Miami Dolphins. I like the Dolphins secondary. I love their roster as far as the secondary play going against the strength of the Cincinnati Bengals as far as their skill position and the receiver plays. So I think Mike McDaniels and company are going to have their first W of the season on the road against Joe Burrow and company and the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Miami Dolphins are coming out of Cincinnati with a W, baby. Week number 5, they travel to New York to go against Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh and the New York Jets, man. And tell the truth, this is one of those games, like, it's a coin flip for me, man. Like, because I'm a Salah fan, you know, my bald brother, so there was no over-analytical thing about this. I just like Salah because he's bald, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a bald, big, strong, bald man, like me. So in a sense, I take the bald, strong man over the guy with the nerdy geek with hair, which is obviously Mike McDaniels. So yes, the Miami Dolphins will lose at home against Salah and the New York Jets. Week number 6, man, this is when things are starting to roll for the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniels. They host the Minnesota Vikings, man. I think the Vikings, obviously, they got their strength is their skill position, and obviously, I believe the Miami Dolphins' strength defensively is the secondary play, and I believe the Dolphins are going to be a little bit better as far as experience in the secondary than the Minnesota Vikings offensively. So I anticipate the Miami Dolphins to get a W against the Minnesota Vikings, man. Big victory for the Dolphins, man. Big victory. Week number 7, they host the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I'm talking about, you can see the Dolphins. You can see things are changing right now. You can tell the atmosphere is changing, man. Mike McDermott's culture, his play calling is getting into a place. So I anticipate against a defensive mindset like the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, Mike Tomlin and company, man, a close battle. But I see Tua making a 3rd and 3 completion to run the clock. I look for Tua to make that 1 first down, man, just to be a 3rd and 3 to win the game, and you're going to make that first down, and the Miami Dolphins going to get a W against a defensive mindset Pittsburgh Steelers. A close, hard-fought battle, man, but I see the Dolphins pulling this one out at home versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 8 at the Detroit Lions, man. I like the Dolphins in this situation, man. I think they're a better roster. In this stage, they're a better team than the Detroit Lions, so look for the winning streak to continue as far as the Dolphins winning 3 in a row by defeating the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Week number 9 in Chicago, man. This to me is a tricky game for them, man. Obviously, I don't think the Bears are a very good team, but I feel like their roster is set up in a situation where they could give a team like the Dolphins problem, man. Because we all know Tua is not ultra athletic, but the Bears, man, because they're going to be playing that zone defense, keeping everything in front of them, man. I think the Dolphins got to be real patient as far as this week, but I don't see that happen. I think it's going to be cold out there. It's going to be windy. That's why they call it the Windy City. It's going to be November, man. I'm talking about you got a team from South Beach going to Chicago in November. I don't see a W happening, man. I see this is a trap game. This is a setup game, man. And the Miami Dolphins are going to take their asses out of Chicago cold as hell, and they're going to take an L in Chicago, man. An unexpected L in Chicago, and they can't wait to take their asses back to South Beach, man. Week number 10, they're finally back home hosting the Cleveland Browns in South Beach, man, after, the NFC North win for us. So I think, obviously, with Deshaun Watson, I think he still should be suspended around this time. So the uncertainty as far as the quarterback play for the Browns. With that said, I see Tua and company winning this game, and the Miami Dolphins, obviously, going to be a hard-fought game because both of these teams are very good as far as play calling, coaching, and of that nature. So I anticipate a very competitive game, but the Dolphins coming out victorious in this battle. Going into the bye week in week number 11, coming off the bye is week 12. They host the Houston Texans. This is a good situation. The Texans, obviously, we know they're going through a lot, man. We don't even know what the Texans are doing right now. They're trying to find themselves. You know, some people, like, friends, you might have a friend or family member or somebody that's going through self-development and finding themselves. Yeah, that's the Texans right now. They're on their own thing. We don't know what they're going to do, but we know they're trying to find themselves. So with that said, the Dolphins should get a good victory coming out of bye, a healthy victory against the Houston Texans. All right, so the next 3 weeks, man, is going to be one of the toughest stretch for the Miami Dolphins, man. So they're going to start with week 12 at the San Francisco 49ers. Frankly, I believe the 49ers are going to be one of the best teams in all of football. I'm high on the 49ers. I think in the most important position, the trenches, they're better than the Miami Dolphins. And I don't like the Dolphins traveling all the way out west like that, man. So I don't really like this situation. I think the scheduling gods really did a disadvantage for the Miami Dolphins. Look for them to go to San Francisco and take an L in a physical game against the 49ers. Miami Dolphins losing against the San Francisco 49ers, man. Sorry, Mike McDaniels, man. But Kyle Shanahan, man, Kyle owns y'all, man. So Kyle's going to make sure he do what he does because Kyle always dominate against his pupils. Week number 14 at the Los Angeles Chargers. This is the battle of, oh my God, the Justin Herbert and Tua. This is the battle right here, man. This is going to be the battle of, this is the reason why Brandon Staley's probably going to get fired or something like that, man. But in a sense, it comes down to, I believe the Chargers got a better roster because it comes down to Justin Herbert and Tua. That's what it comes down to. Identically, this is the same roster. But if you take Tua and put him in Los Angeles, or if you take Justin Herbert and put him in Miami, I think it will be a different result. And I think it will be a better result because Justin Herbert is a better talent than Tua. So with that said, the Chargers will be a better team because they have a better quarterback who's more talented than the Dolphins. And that's why the Dolphins will lose against the Los Angeles Chargers. Man, and week number 15, like I said, man, from week 13, 14, and 15, the scheduling gods didn't do them no justice. Now the Dolphins got to travel the third straight road game against Buffalo Bills, man, in week number 15. This stretch right here is a bad stretch for the Miami Dolphins, man. I think this is a deciding stretch right here. They're going to be a playoff team or not, man. But I see them losing the third straight road game against the Buffalo Bills, man, week number 15. It's just a bad scheduling situation for the Miami Dolphins, man. So they will lose their third straight games against the Buffalo Bills in week number 15. Week 16, they host the Green Bay Packers. Honestly, I think the Dolphins are going to swamp the Green Bay Packers as far as defensively. I think the Dolphins are very good as far as the defensive line and the secondary play. I think they got one of the best secondary play as far as their corners and the safety combination. Not too many people in the NFL have that type of combination as far as secondary play, which is going to help against a guy like Aaron Rodgers. So I see the reason why. And also, it's going to be humid. It's going to be hot, dog. You trying to tell me a team from Wisconsin, you're going to come down there in Miami? Dude, it's going to be so hot in Miami for those cold-ass Big Ten teams. So look for the Green Bay Packers. A lot of those guys will be catching cramps and shit because of the humidity, and them to lose against the Miami Dolphins, man. Look for the Dolphins to beat the Green Bay Packers at home man. W for the Dolphins. Week 17, they travel to go play the New England Patriots, man. And to be honest with you, I like the way the Miami Dolphins are going to be finishing. Obviously, I feel like they're going to come from a 3-game losing streak, but then the scheduling God helped them out again. New England right now, they're not deep, man. We really was a wait and see approach because we don't know the philosophy offensively. We know they're going to be strategic defensively, but they don't really have the horses, for me to really, for the New England Patriots to be any type of a scary team. They really don't have the horses. They don't have that playmaker like a J.C. Jackson anymore. They really don't have those type of scary guys. So look for the Miami Dolphins to continue their finishing strong and by defeating the New England Patriots on the road, man, in a hard-fought victory. Week number 18 at the New York Jets. I like this. Like I said, the scheduling gods, man, they hooked. They gave the Miami Dolphins a little bit of a bone. They threw them a bone to finish the last game. I see the Dolphins finishing strong by winning their last 3 ball games, beating Robert Salah and the New York Jets, man. So the Dolphins overall, I see them finishing 9-8 in Mike McDaniel's first season as a head coach, which is a really, really good record for me personally. But obviously, the question is going to be, is Tua the guy, or do they need to be looking for a quarterback? That's still going to be the question. I don't think that they're going to have an answer to that. I think Tua is going to play good enough for them to be like, damn, we can't really get rid of him yet, but we don't know if we could keep him. I think Tua is going to be one of those. That's always going to be the situation with Tua because he's good. He's like a Kirk Cousins. He's good enough, but he's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Dolphins are going to find that out at the end of this season because the Dolphins are going to be good and be 9-8, but that's not going to be good enough as far as where they eventually want to be. Y'all know the drill, man. It's the G to the U to the R to the U. Like this, love this, share this, and I am